Let's hear from Steve Kerr now as his team is moving on to the second round.
First of all, I want to congratulate Houston. What a series that was. They had a great season. A lot of good things ahead for that team. Ime did an amazing job. And really the whole rebuild over the last couple of years has been so impressive. And we were lucky to get out of this series. But much respect to the Rockets and their staff and their organization. They have a great team and they had a great season. Couldn't be more proud of our guys. That was an incredibly impressive display of resolve, discipline. The defense was fantastic. The ball security, kind of game plan discipline, follow to a T, and then multiple guys stepping up. Buddy Hield, I don't know what to say. I mean, that was really incredible watching him light it up in that first half especially, and then down the stretch as well. But I can't say enough about our guys and what they were able to do in this series and to pull this thing out on the road in Game 7. Pretty impressive.
Steve, they cut a 15-point lead down to like 3. Jimmy gets that corner 3 out of a double team, and then he finds Draymond twice. And then it looks like maybe in the huddle between the third and fourth, you guys make an adjustment to get Steph attacking the rim a little bit, and you got him free. What did you guys do there?
Well, it's always matchup based, and so if you can find an advantage with the personnel they have on the floor, then you try to get Steph in pick and roll with a particular player or two, and I think it just kind of played out that way. The way the game was going, they've done a great job of taking away the Steph Draymond pick and roll all series by putting Fred VanVleet on Draymond and putting their center on one of our wings, and so that was really a great strategic move for them. And I think in the fourth quarter, because of the matchups, we were able to get Draymond back in the pick and roll with Steph a couple of times. I thought Steph was brilliant tonight. I know he got off to a slow start shooting the ball, but the whole key to the game was taking care of the ball, and he managed the game beautifully. And it's just a matter of time before his shot goes in. But the reason we had the 11-point lead at half or whatever it was, 12, was because of the way Steph took care of the ball, got us into our offense, and settled the game down.
Steve, you've been through so much with Steph and Draymond. This was their 6th Game 7 together. What can you say about the tone that Draymond set on Şengün and obviously the way that Steph was able to close it out?
Draymond set the tone last night at the team meeting. Basically, he owned up to losing his poise in Game 6, and I agreed with him. I thought the flagrant foul 4 minutes into the game was a tone setter, and he knew it. And so he talked to the group last night and said, "I got to be poised, and I have to be better, and we're going to come in here tomorrow and get it done." And I think his emotional stability tonight, just his poise from the start, I thought it set a great tone.
Steve, you said last night that you were considering all options for the lineup. How close? I mean, Buddy didn't play that great the last 2 games. How close were you to not starting him? And what about tonight's game? Did he get more space than he's gotten? Or
I never wavered on starting Buddy. The lineup that we started tonight has been by far our best 5-man unit in this series, and so I knew I was going to stay with Buddy. And I like the way that group looks. We knew they were going to play a lot of zone. We finally got better spacing against the zone, and we were able to get some good looks. And of course, Buddy, getting hot changed the whole game in the first half.
Steve, is this the kind of team that does an unusual amount of introspection between games, especially going into a tough game like this, and more talking among themselves? Is this a kind of...
Yeah, for sure. I mean, as I said, Draymond really, he's our leader, and when he's right, like he was tonight, he's an incredible player, to watch. The defense just kind of owning the court on that side of things, and then just being patient and not turning it over and being in the right spots offensively. So I think the guys understood after Game 6. We were scattered. We were out of sorts. I didn't do a good job getting them ready. I think we let our guard down, frankly, in Game 6. And so tonight was as good as it gets in terms of focus and the players executing the game plan and just showing resolve for 48 minutes.
You mentioned a few times that this was like a difficult series for Draymond offensively because of what they're doing. How much is that mental for him too? When your strategy at that point has to be him to kind of get away from the action, how much do you think that is tough for him to just kind of be out of the fray?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, Ime did a great job and his staff of, trying to take Draymond out of things with matchups, with the way they were playing, with zone, and he was definitely flustered, quite a bit throughout the series. And I just thought, today at shoot around last night at the meeting, you could see Draymond. You could see a change in his approach. Basically admitting, like, I've lost my poise and it's cost us, and I will be there, to do my job tonight. And I thought he was incredible.
Steve, you were able to hold the Rockets to just 18 3-point attempts, and Fred VanVleet only got, I think, 6 shot attempts from distance. Was there any sort of adjustment when it came to making sure the Rockets didn't go off from 3? Or?
Well, the biggest thing we did was we battled for every 50-50 ball. It seemed like they got all of them that last game, and there were so many kick-out threes after loose balls, long rebounds. And even though they got 14 offensive boards tonight, we were in the fight every single loose ball, long rebound. And then after they got the rebound, we were sprinting out to 3-point shooters, which we didn't do in Game 6. So I thought that was a crucial part of the game today.
Byproduct of playing in a Game 7 and having your season on the line.
No question. The Game 7 on the road, if you don't bring it, you're going home, and our guys brought it.
Just how would you, big picture, contextualize this series for Steph, what he navigated, the arc of the series, and then the way he was able to finish?
The main thing is I'm blown away by Steph's competitive fight. At 37, been doing this forever, at 4 rings, gold medal, everything he could possibly want in his life, he's got. He has nothing to prove, and yet he's going to come in and try to prove something every single night. It's amazing. Draymond too, Jimmy too, and that's the common theme, the common denominator with all these guys. It's their competitive force, that how much they love to play and compete and win, and the process of going through it and putting themselves on the line. The fact that these guys continue to put themselves on the line year after year after year, it just blows me away. The competitive spirit and energy and love for the game. It's beautiful to watch.
You talk about that competitive spirit with them. What about a guy like Buddy, who's known more for his sort of personality in the locker room and keeping things light and all the joking, but obviously to produce the way he did in this setting, there has to be some of that in him too.
I thought his defense was tremendous tonight too. One of the keys to the game was Fred VanVleet only got 2 free throws. Fred has just destroyed us the last 3 games. He's had an amazing series. He completely flipped things with his play. Last game we fouled him several times, on his mid-range stuff, pull-ups. And I thought Buddy did a great job on him and on Green. So this was not just a lights-out shooting performance from Buddy. It was also a two-way performance. I thought his defense was fantastic.
How he balanced that personality in the locker room.
Yeah, I mean, there's a reason everybody loves Buddy. He's just fun-loving. He's hilarious. He can laugh at himself. But he loves to play basketball, and he loves to work at the game. And, he's one of the best 3-point shooters in the league. And he's had a really successful career, but this is really his first real playoff run. And I think he is relishing it, and the guys, they see how much he loves it and how much he wants to contribute, and what a night for him.
Steve, looking ahead to the second round, what are your thoughts on just matchup with Minnesota and especially Anthony Edwards?
I'm not talking about Minnesota right now. We will talk about them tomorrow. So we're just gonna enjoy the win tonight and spend the night, and we'll get ready for Minnesota tomorrow. But we're excited. We're thrilled. I mean, when I think back to the trade deadline where we were as a team, I'm so proud of these guys for what they've accomplished to put us in a position, as Steph says, to play meaningful basketball and to give ourselves a chance. And this is all you want every year. Do you have a chance? And we've got a chance with this group, and they're an amazing group of men to coach and to be with and to collaborate with, and couldn't be more proud.
Say about what Buddy did tonight for you guys?
He was huge. The 33 points were great. 9 threes, incredible. But what he did on the defensive end was even more impressive. He took on every matchup that he had, whether it was Jalen, Fred, all over the hawking the ball handler. He ended up with Sengun on the post. Made him force a miss. Knocked the ball out. We was able to come up with the loose ball. He made winning plays all night. Huge game for him, 37 minutes. I'm not sure he's played that amount of minutes all year. But stayed the course. When we needed him most, he delivered. And if I didn't throw him a grenade, he would have been 9 for 10 for 3, but I threw him a grenade, so I'll take that one.
Draymond, coach, before you came in, he said that your emotions played a big part in this. What was that conversation with the team before you guys came out tonight?
I thought, my people I trust in most had, we had some heart-to-hearts after last game. My wife, one of my closest friends, Travis, my barber is one of my closest friends, Coach Izzo, and I pouted way too much last game. So I spent the last 2 days embarrassed. Just at what I gave to the game, what I gave to the world. I was embarrassed. So I've been dying since the last game ended to get out on the floor and prove who I am. One thing about this league, you're never done proving who you are until you're done, completely finished. And so I wanted to come out and prove again just who I am, with poise, but with the same fire. Same tenacity, but poise. And I think I delivered that and gave our guys something to follow. What I gave them last game to follow, they followed it. And that's why we got bullied. But I think I gave them something different to follow today. And that was the message, that was the goal. We got it done.
Draymond, Steve said that you set the tone last night at the team dinner with that speech. What goes into deciding to give that speech, and what was the reception from the rest of your teammates?
Well, I think what goes into it is really deciding who's going to get a speech. Obviously, I always try to defer to Steph, defer to Jimmy, and they wanted me to speak. But I had a lot to say. And like I said, most importantly was calling myself out. You can't go into a game 7 expecting guys to rally off the game we had before and not address it. And so I wanted to address that, number one. But then secondly, tell everybody else what we needed, which was a togetherness like no other. In our huddles together, trusting in each other and believing. And so thought it was much needed. But as much as I think this team needed it, I feel like I needed it for myself even more. Because you got to be accountable. You can't be a leader and not be accountable. And you call other guys out. When their shit stinks, then you better say when yours does too. And that's what I tried to make a point in doing.
After 13 years and 6 Game 7s together with Steph, What does it mean to you to walk off the court after a game like that?
It means a lot, especially losing a 3-1 lead, having to come on the road and win it. Means a ton to continue playing at this level, having the opportunity to compete at this level. And it's a little more special that we've done it here before. So it's a familiar feeling.
I couldn't help notice you and Steve having a shoot around, mostly Steve talking and you listening. Just what was kind of the mood of that one?
Just really setting the tone for what he needed from me today, which is poise, leadership. But he had some great words. He gave me a story, a few different stories. They were great, but I think the gist of it was just, you've done so much. Whether we win or lose this game, when it's all said and done at the end of your career, nobody will remember. So go out, have fun with poise, give your guys something to follow. You know, he told me you're one of the most competitive people I've ever been around. And one of the greatest leaders I've been around. So it's my job to let you know what your leadership should be tonight. Like how you need to lead, what that needs to look like for tonight. It's my job to prepare you for that. My job to get you ready emotionally to play. And it's one of the better conversations we've ever had, and we've had some great ones. But that one I'll remember for the rest of my life.
You talked about the huddles. I noticed you had a huddle right before the start, before tip-off, maybe in a different kind of way. It definitely sounded or felt like it was a little more emotional. Was that a big moment for you?
It was definitely a big moment for us, for me, for us. You know, the emotions in the game 7 run high, and we just wanted to make sure we were on the right side of that. Not tightening up, because you got to be loose, but understanding what every possession means. Understanding that we weren't giving our energy to anything outside of ourselves. And I think in setting that tone, everybody, we did that.
How would you contextualize this series for Steph, with just the way that it defended him, the way he performed, and then finishing with 14 fourth quarter
That was
points
huge. That's why he is who he is. He just made the simple play tonight. Had 3 points for a lot of the game, and then he bust out. But he made the right play. Just moved the ball on and trusted other guys to make the play because of how they was guarding him. And it's a beautiful game to see him close it out. He knew once, like, all right, now it's time for me to take over and take this thing home. It was beautiful, man. But I want to give a lot of credit to that team down there. Ime, the way he had those guys fighting, I gained a lot of respect for that team throughout this series. One of the tougher series I've played in, personally. But that's a young team to be reckoned with. And I told myself I was going to talk crazy because they have been talking crazy all series and on the internet, but I gained so much respect for those guys. Sengun is an incredible player. The way Fred VanVleet and Steven Adams led those guys, they had no experience, and they led them, took us to the brink. That team's going to be a force to be reckoned with, and I hope they understand it. You know, things can change fast in this league. You're only on the up until you're not, you know? But they got something promising that they can continue to build on. Jabari Smith, incredible. He played like a vet this whole series, getting his spots, knocking big shots down. A lot of respect for those guys.
Draymond, Steve talked about meaningful basketball and being able to play it this time of year. When you go back to the trade deadline and all what's proceeded since then, are these the kind of games you were thinking about playing when the trade happened and just in this moment?
Absolutely. This is exactly what the trade was for, to get back to this level. Play meaningful basketball, as Steph has been saying all year. And Jimmy, which is what he's been to this group, has allowed us to be in this position to continue our season and possibly do something special.
Dre, you talked about winning the championship shortly after the trade on All-Star Weekend, but now that you have gone, you still have to go through the war. Like, now that you've gone through a 7-game battle, what do you feel this group is capable of doing moving forward to the next round?
I think this group is capable of exactly what we set out to do, which is win a championship. We know the things that we need to improve on and continue to get better at, but I got the utmost confidence in this group. Didn't want to go 7 games, but and it won't hurt us with that experience that our young guys got the opportunity to get. But I think we're right where we need to be, right where we want to be, with an opportunity to continue to extend this thing, and we believe. Yeah, I mean, I was never rattled, but, you know, with every win, I think that grows.
When you talk about feeling embarrassed the past couple of days leading into tonight, how do you use that as fuel, and how do you, in what ways do you channel that feeling onto the court?
Well, I had to channel it in a different way because that could lead you to, come on and I want it so bad. I actually went the opposite way. I listened to all slow music the last couple of days, just kind of calmed myself down, went to the spa, meditate, because I know I can ratchet my intensity up. I know I'm gonna meet the intensity level, but I felt like I was going too far. I listened to Checkout Time on the way to the game the other day, and that was the exact mindset I had going into that game. So wanted to change it up a little bit today. Some Brent Fayez, SZA, 90s R&B, just kind of completely changed it up. So it was good for me.
Came into the series, Jalen Green came into the series, their leading scorer. And y'all had different guys on him throughout the series. And I think just one game he was able to get off. How were y'all able to corral him, kind of keep him in check throughout the series? I think doing your work early. We did a good job on him to start the series, and I think that kind of rattled his confidence a little bit. This isn't something he's been a part of before. He's a good young player. He'll learn from his mistakes. But you got to give the guys credit that was guarding him. Buddy, Steph, BP, GP, JK, anybody who was on him, he was a focal point and trying to take him out of this series. We know what they're capable of when he's scoring. And so we really wanted to take him out of the series, and I think we did a good job of it. But like I said, he's a good young player. He'll grow. He'll continue to learn from this. Tough first experience for him, but he's not the first young up-and-coming star to have a tough experience in the playoffs. Won't be the last. I think he'll continue to grow from it. He got a great coach to lead him. Fred, great leader to lead him, and I think he'll grow from it. But I got to give our guys a lot of credit and our coaching staff a lot of credit with the game plan on.
Draymond, how would you describe sort of the vibe when Buddy gets in that zone? And related to that, any interaction with him and Jimmy? Him and Jimmy have gone back and forth. And what was tonight like? I mean, did Jimmy say anything afterward, or what was that? I
didn't catch any of their banter tonight, but Buddy was huge. And ironically, I could see just the way he was walking this morning, like the way he was talking, like he was so engaged, and he delivered on the biggest stage. Got to give him his credit. It was huge for us. Sure it was big for his confidence. We're going to need that Buddy to continue on. And it won't be 9 threes every night, but just the intensity and focus level that he had should get on, in these playoffs.
You mentioned kind of your mindset shift from game 6 to game 7, the need for kind of a calmer version of yourself. You're about to go to Minnesota, quick turnaround. Gobert, the size of Minnesota. What do you need to do in that series? And I guess how do you have to keep that similar type?
Yeah, I have to keep it similar for my guys. Forget anybody else. But for my guys, I need to stay that way. So I'll be locked in. It'll be good, but finding that balance, finding that line, not crossing it is important for me and this team. And I gave them my word. I'll continue to give them my word.
Hey, Draymond, Steve said he didn't have you guys ready for last game. Apparently you were ready this game. What did he do to help that process?
Number one was coming into the locker room right after game 6 and saying, that's on me. I ain't had y'all ready to play. So the accountability and leadership, number one. But number two, just the belief. I would tell y'all, Steve's so calm in these situations. Everybody get rattled, he just be just like this. So when you have a coach that walks in like that, it settles everybody down. And, obviously he's the best in the business when it comes to game plans this time of year.
They've been searching for some answers after their Game 7 loss. Let's check in with Alperen Şengün and Fred VanVleet.
For Alpi, what did you kind of learn about yourself through this series, being asked to do a lot defensively and also battling with Draymond Green on the other end?
Man, learned a lot, first time playoff for me, and one of the best players being in the league long time. just learn a lot, man. Learn the aggressiveness, defense, play both way. Just try to win. Try to help my teammates, but just gotta learn and move on.
Fred, I know you guys are crushed right now, but big picture, how proud are you of the young guys and the way that they handled the pressure in their first playoff series?
Yeah, I'm extremely proud of these guys. I look at all these guys like my baby brothers, except for they're not babies anymore. They grew up a lot this year and made huge strides. Incredible regular season, and just a tough way to end the season. It's always tough, but it's only one team that can win the championship. So it's a heartbreaking loss. Game 7 can go either way. Wasn't our best performance, but we're not gonna sum up the whole experience based on one night. I'm proud of everybody. Made huge strides down the list. The entire roster was key. It's one of my favorite seasons that I've been a part of, and I think that everybody should be excited, about the future and what's to come.
Fred, you have a club option on your contract.
All right, let's check in with the hero of the night, Buddy Hield. 33 points,
Draymond
9
said that when you
three-pointers in
walked
this game
in,
7.
You were walking a little pep in your step, like you even walking a little bit different today. Was there something just about this day that you felt like, okay, you're going to get it going?
Tell Draymond I'm playing a big game tonight. No, but I was just locked in, just trying to find my joy. And I've never been in a situation before, and just trying to seize the moment and relish the moment, and just be in the moment at the same time and enjoy the moment. And it was fun. A lot of nerves at first though, so I gotta be myself. If I'm not acting normal in the locker room, everybody, it's not normal. So just trying to be myself. But tonight was fun. All glory to God.
How'd you get rid of those nerves? That just that first shot going in, that do it, or?
I was talking to Lone earlier, and I was like, man, I'm so glad I'm starting tonight, because I don't know how it have been coming to the bench, because coming to the bench for the game 7 has been really hard, So just starting to get all the jitters out. It's a childhood dream, We all talk about game 7s. We all want to play in game 7s, but that actually playing in the game 7 and getting prepared for it is one of the hardest things ever. And I'm just, thank God for my mom and everybody that prepared me, put me in a situation that I can be prepared, being mentally and spiritually prepared for this. And my teammates, of course, Jimmy and Steph and Dre, those vets that have been in the fire before, and they know what it's like, and just follow their lead.
Steph and Clay over the years have talked about what it's like to be in the zone where it feels like the basket's enormous and everything's going in. What does it feel like for you tonight when you get hot like that?
Yeah.
And unrelated, what did Jimmy say to you after the game?
It was being in the zone is very spiritual, just you and that rim and the net and the ball, and you just figuring it out. And sometimes you put anything up and it just goes in, but just being at peace with your game. No, Jimmy didn't say nothing to me yet. I'm not gonna get on Jimmy yet. I'm gonna keep it calm. But today I had to fill this role in for them in the first half. He was slacking, but we all weathered the storm, and it was a great team win collectively. Everybody they did everything in spurts, and we finally get out of the zone. Yeah. When I shot it, I know I had a chance, and I didn't know it was going there. I know I had a chance, and it was, like I say, I always want to give it a chance. And I felt when that opened up, when that went in, that just helped me really come more relaxed. And I didn't celebrate too much because I know we had 3 more quarters to go.
You mentioned this is your first time through it with this team. What was Draymond's speech like last night? What did that mean? Just hearing that and knowing about this team, knowing about him, and have him talk about his own accountability, talk about what this means to him and to everybody.
It just shows true leadership. That's what it's meant. That's what leadership is about. He let us know that in game 6 he wasn't being himself, and I'm sure y'all talked to him what he said, but just him just letting us know what we had to do to complete this mission tonight. And it was fun listening to him, and he just, like I say, I wanted to play right then because it gave me so much chills. It was very emotional, and guys was nodding their head, and when a guy like that speak, who's won 4 championships, who's been in the finals 6 times, he know what it takes to win, and just having that confidence and following his lead. He's just true professional, true leader, and a true example.
Buddy, zone Zone defense turned out to be a big part of this series tonight on both ends of the floor. What can you say about how you guys defended them and how y'all attacked their zone?
We finally cracked the make shots to get the zone. They stopped playing the zone. That was the deal, but we couldn't figure it out. And then after that, I think tonight we used Steph different, and we didn't kept him on the ball, and we was able to like adjust to a lot of things. And like I say, for you to be a zone, you got to make shots. And we made shots, and we took them out of it, and we forced them to guard our players like Steph and Jimmy. And we know that they're all world in that category. We're just trying to make them go one-on-one against our best players. There we go. Thank you. Have a blessed one.
All right, again, Buddy Hield tying a Game 7 record as far as the playoffs are concerned. 9 3-pointers, 33 points in this game. Having some fun with Jimmy Butler.
I'm glad he
now.
could see the hoop. It looked like he got dressed in the dark. Green pants, blue shirt, loud print, loud hat. It's only right he made loud buckets. 9 threes, 33. He kept it consistent. Yes, indeed.
Let's get to Jimmy Butler.
Can you please?
Well, I guess what can you say about Buddy's performance tonight?
Buddy gets paid a lot of money to play at a high level. Buddy was Buddy tonight. Good for you, Buddy. Butter. Good for you. No, Buddy was huge. But we know the type of basketball player that he is. And he's a tough cover for sure whenever he's making shots. But he made so many right plays on the defensive side of the ball, getting the ball where it needed to go. Buddy was really, really, really big for us tonight.
What did you see from Draymond today? Draymond talked about how he took accountability for, I guess, how he was in Game 6, and he made a speech at pregame dinner. Wondering what did you see?
You saw Dre being Dre, staying poised, not let all the nonsense get to him, expecting what's going to happen. I think that was the biggest thing for him, not letting any of that get him out of character, compete, stay in the game, and be the anchor for us on the defensive side of the floor. And then make some big shots, start us off the right way, and control the offensive side as well.
Jimmy, Buddy had said that team meeting he called it emotional, but he credited your leadership, Steph and Draymond, with really getting him to lock in and everybody else. What did you say, and what was it like going through your first Game 7 with Draymond and Steph?
It's a pleasure to be able to compete in a Game 7 on the road with those two Hall of Famers. And my message to my guys was I wasn't being who I was in a sense of pumping confidence into my guys. I think that's a part of my leadership that I've learned and gained throughout my years of playing this game at a high level. And I wasn't doing that for the first 6 games. So I wanted to make sure to let them know that I was going to let you know everything was going to be fine. We're right where we wanted to be. And I think I got back to being who I'm supposed to be.
How much did you guys need? It seems like the last couple of games showed you really needed a secondary shooter, someone besides you and Steph to be making those shots the way Buddy did tonight. From beyond your entertaining byplay with him, strategically, how much did you need that, and what allowed that? Was there more space for him tonight, or?
No, I think we actually rebounded the ball better. We got to the loose balls. It's easier to score whenever you get the opportunity to shoot the ball at that side of the floor. We didn't turn the ball over. All of that plays a role in Buddy having a game that he did, and guys being able to make shots at the clip that we did. So as long as we get the ball, secure the rebound, play in transition, it gets easier for everybody.
Jimmy, Fred VanVleet had been an issue for y'all the last few games. What was it about tonight, or how did y'all defend him differently tonight? Draymond was in here talking about him earlier. But how much of a focus was he for y'all, and what were y'all able to do against him tonight?
Fred's a tough cover, along with a lot of guys on that roster. But I think it's just making everything difficult, contesting every shot, not losing him in transition or in the half court, and then rebounding the basketball. Whenever you don't rebound and then they're kicking it out and you're walking into open threes, the basket gets bigger for anybody in this league. So I think we did a good job of controlling that.
This is your first time through with these guys. You mentioned obviously Draymond and Steph, and put Kerr in there too. He's been through with some of these, and I think Draymond said that after Game 6, Kerr put it on himself that he didn't have you guys prepared. What's it just been like to go through it with that kind of accountability from those three guys?
I think that's what real leaders do. They always try to take all the burden, but that's not the case. You know, Steve can't control if we're not getting the loose balls. He can tell us, but we're the ones that have to go out there and do it. He can draw up all the plays that he wants, but we're the ones that have to go out there and execute and play hard. But the fact that he's willing to take that for the guys is huge. You know, same with Draymond, same with Steph, same with myself, actually. There's so many guys on this roster. So, you know, we just talked about controlling what we can control, go out there and compete. And we know if we do that, we will win a game.
Jimmy, obviously Steph only had 3 points in the first half, but he still was leading in defensive rebounds, assists, steals, blocks. How do you explain his impact when his shots aren't falling, also knowing that he could go off at any time?
Yeah, I think that's a true definition of like I don't even know what you call it. Best player, one of the greatest, is that they impact the game in more than just scoring or shooting. So to be able to guard, to be able to rebound, to find guys when they're open, it's a hard job for him because he always got three people that's on him, and he's always making the right play over and over and over again. But we needed it, and then when it was time for him to make some shots, we needed it, and he came through.
Well, you haven't had time to stop thinking about this game, but you've got you going back to Minnesota, second round series. Just what comes to your mind about this series, about this challenge? Obviously, quick turnaround for game one.
Honestly, I got to like midnight to enjoy this win, so that's what I'm going to do. And then I'll focus on Minnesota come after midnight. But I'm worried about how I'm going to get my coffee machine to Minnesota and how I'm going to get my kids there.
Jimmy, Draymond was in here earlier. He said that this series actually made him a better player. Just curious, is there anything that you're going to take into the next series that you might have picked up from playing this scene?
I'm going to take how resilient we are as a group, coming from where they were, you know, post-trade before I got here, and the way that everybody locked in and made me feel welcome, and we took off this way. And we never wavered. The confidence never went anywhere. Really good group of hoopers, really good group of people. So that's what I'm going to take into this next round is we got some guys that can play at an extremely high level. And on any given night, it could be anybody's night.
So much of the series was about you and Draymond battling their, you know, double center lineup. You've been with Draymond now a few months, seeing, you know, 6'5", 6'6", maybe. What, you know, more appreciation do you have for what he physically has done over the last decade as basically a center?
A lot. But he's been doing that since he came into the league. What I respect more than anything is the way like he can talk to anybody and everybody, and it's so like on point and it's quick. Like the fact that he can tell me, hey, that's 2 loose balls you didn't get, no more. And I'm like, you're right. You know, like, or you talk to Steph and you can talk to BP and Q, whoever it is, and it's like, you don't got to repeat it. I got it. Like I didn't know. And I respect it so much now that he'll talk to anybody and everybody quick, to the point, because it's all about winning. So all the battles that he goes through, it's his leadership quality of like getting to the point and moving on that I respect the most.
How would you qualify how physical this series was for you and him down there?
Very physical. More so for him, because he got to switch. He got to battle both of the bigs. Only got to battle, you know, the big a couple of times, and I get to move out there to the guards. But all of that physicality ended with 4 wins for us, so we're happy.
What's your favorite team? Comment below, and if you like the video, please leave a like. This really helps the channel grow and brings you even more content. Oh, and if you're not subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? Click the subscribe button and activate the bell to receive all notifications. With each game, we notice that the NBA is getting more competitive every day, and all the teams are looking for reinforcements to win the championship. And only here can you follow your favorite team daily with incredible content from different sources. Here on the channel, there are new videos every day with analysis, curiosities, and the best moments in basketball. That's it for today, folks. Thanks for following along. The NBA doesn't stop, and neither do we. Until the next video. NBA, the passion that connects us.